The last time the government shut down was also under Trump, and it cost us $11 billion taxpayer money because of his shutdown.
Welcome back to the Around the Districts podcast. I'm Gabrielle Mazar.
I'm Nicole Brown.
And today we're going to talk about what is going on with the government shutdown. We're going to take this from a real personal standpoint, being a business owner and your husband working in the government. So how this is actually impacting us. Why don't you start by talking about what's going on with your husband?
Yeah, he's been furloughed. Like everybody else. He works for the Department of Interior and the Bureau of Land Management. He's an IT supervisor. And basically, the Democrats did not want to agree to the bill that was on the floor, mainly due to health care, because it would have taken away Medicare, Medicaid for kids. And so they didn't agree with it, and the government shut down last night. And so for me personally, like, he's our main source of income. And so it's kind of weird. He still gets his disability and his retirement, so that's not impacted. But, you know, like the military, I have my nephew is active duty Army, and he still is expected to work but not be paid. So thankfully, he and my niece, they live on base in Washington State. But still, like, they have 2 kids, you know, one with special needs. So there's a direct impact from that perspective. And the last time the government shut down was also under Trump, and it cost us
36 days, I think it was.
Yep. And it cost us $11 billion taxpayer money because of his shutdown. And so this Republican shutdown Republican/Trump shutdown.
Well, and let's be clear too, during the last shutdown, they had all 3 branches as well.
Yeah.
So this time they have all 3 branches, and they had all 3 branches last time. So trying to blame the other side for this is kind of laughable. But yeah, this also happened back then, and it's costing the taxpayers money.
Yeah.
So,
and for me, I'm not upset that the government shut down. I think if it's a reason that the Democrats are doing it is for the people, which if it's going to take Medicaid away from kids in foster care and things of that sort, then I think we have to stand on principle and do what we do. Like, we have to let it implode from the inside and bring everybody back to the table. What we're seeing from this current administration is a lot of bullying to get his way.
Well, and he wanted to take away the credits for the ACA as well. And that would impact how many millions of people. So we're not just talking Medicaid, we're also talking just healthcare, period. I think, what did he say? He said something about how it's unnecessary and dumb, or those were not the words, but basically that healthcare is unnecessary.
Yeah. He's just, I mean, I don't get it. Like, he's not for the people. And so thankfully, like, somebody like me, I'm in a good position. We don't have kids, and like, it's us, and we have a nice savings. So it's like, it doesn't impact me the same way it would somebody else. So it's really concerning for families that live check to check or struggle with income, and this is their main source of income. But hopefully this will bring the Republicans back to logical explanation of
I hope so.
Funding the government so that all people are taken care of, instead of wanting to take away health care for millions of Americans.
Yeah.
Just to satisfy the current administration.
I will say, you know, as a business owner, I am on ACA. That's it is pretty much the only way that I can get health insurance. Without that, what do I do? I have no other options. And they took away all other options because you could get supplemental, which you can't do anymore. So that would affect me if they try to take that away. But just from a business standpoint, you know, I'm single. I take care of everything on my own. So if my business is affected, that's really scary. And I can tell you, just in the last 2 months of my business have been the slowest I've had in years. I have not seen a decline in attendance in years. Month over month over month, over the last 3.5, almost 4 years, I have seen growth in attendance month over month. And the last 2 months has been about a 22% decline. And I think, people are scared.
Yeah, and
People
I
are
think that's
worried.
and they will budget themselves out of what don't they need, and a business like yours would be one of the first things to go.
Exactly.
You know what I
But
mean?
I will tell you, I network with a lot of other businesses, and it is not uncommon right now for business to be closing down. They're much slower. I have had countless conversations with people who own businesses who are saying, I'm just not busy. I'm slow. I need business right now. I'm seeing a lot of my clients' businesses close, so I'm losing them as clients. Like, this is the first time, and I mean in years, that I have seen this decline. Just not just myself, because I am expendable. My business is very much extra for a lot of people. Now, luckily with, my Tempe location, we've been around for almost 20 years. So we've seen a lot of ups and downs. So we'll be okay. But I also have a new studio that we just opened in February that I have to worry about as well. And we're still trying to build that. So any small impact, the price of gas, the price of food, what people are paying for clothes and cars and just life has gone up, and we've seen it, and you can't even deny it. So it makes it very difficult, and it is very scary, because if I lose either of these, I'm in trouble,
Yeah.
because I don't have a partner to
Right.
help me.
And there's a trickling effect, right? So if individuals, what we consider extracurricular activities, when families tighten up their budget
Mhm.
and those go away, it doesn't just impact like your business, but bigger, like flights out, so
Mhm.
the airlines will be impacted. Private businesses, even insurance will be impacted because people are going to cut where they can or where they have to. And so if they're not getting a paycheck, economy the price of goods is up because of the tariffs that he's decided to place on goods and services. All that has a play, and I guess they don't see that this is bigger than, well, I'm just going to shut down the government. Well, no,
Yeah.
it impacts our economy as a whole in so many different ways.
Well, and not even, just speaking about that too, when we think about what's happening with the farmers and the tariffs, the farmers are losing business because Remy, you want to get in on the scene, buddy? The farmers are losing business because people aren't buying goods from us. People are going to Australia for beef. They're going other places for soy. They're not buying from us. So the tariffs have really affected that. But now they've proposed talking about or taking the money from the tariffs and bailing out the farmers, but they wouldn't have to bail out the farmers if they hadn't put these in place in the first place.
Right.
So we're seeing businesses impacted in every
way.
sector, in
Yeah.
every single sector, and
We thought tariffs were going to be bad, but
yeah.
this is
But now we're going to shut down the government as well. So
Yeah.
I mean, and think about this too: the economy needs to be fed by people purchasing. And if people aren't buying, people aren't spending, businesses close, people lose their jobs. If people lose their jobs, that's a whole other cycle.
And think about, I just got back from Indiana, right? So think about the airport now. Now you're going to have workers forced to work unpaid. So what does that do to morale? And then you're
Yep.
going to have a shortage of people because folks are going to call out, or quit or whatever, resign or whatever the case may be. That impacts those of us who are traveling because the lines are going to get longer, right? If there's less people working, price of tickets will go up. As we talked about, gas is expensive.
Yep.
There's just so many different ways that there is all interconnected, and I just don't understand, the idea. Like, I don't disagree with why the government is shut down from a democratic perspective, and I only say that because that, again, what they're fighting for impacts a lot of people, like healthcare, like you, or Medicare, or Medicaid, things like that.
So it's not even just your business.
Yeah.
It's literally everything. It's the prices of everything.
Yeah.
It's businesses. It's healthcare. It's all of these things intertwined. And I definitely am seeing the impacts for sure. I know that when people go and buy groceries and you spend $100, I mean, it barely gets you through a week. Right. And that's really sad. So we'd love to know your feedback and how this might be affecting you as well. So please let us know in the comments. Tell us what you do and what you're seeing and what people are talking to you about, your friends, your neighbors, your family. Let us know. what's going on, because we can relate and we want to know what other people are going through.
Yeah, and if we're not understanding this shutdown, but based on what I've read and what the cuts they want to make, please let me know.
Yeah.
Because from my understanding, the reason why there's no agreement is because of the issues that impact the common American person,
Right.
And healthcare and things to that sort. And so, if that's not true, somebody let me know, inform me. I'd love to know.
We'd love to have an open discussion, because we're definitely seeing the impacts firsthand. So thank you for watching the show. Let us know, leave us a comment, leave us a like, follow, and share your experiences with us. So this has been the Around the Districts podcast, and we will see you next time.